Now, let's see why people like Python. People love Python because it has so many advantages. It is a high-level programming language, which means it is easy for humans to understand, and programmers can focus on the logic rather than how the program interacts with the machine. The syntax of Python is simple. It is human-friendly and readable. We can spend our time on solving problems instead of wasting our time on figuring out where we forget to write a semicolon. And there are a lot of third-party libraries. These libraries saves us a lot of time. Say we want to perform singular value decomposition on a matrix. Instead of writing the code ourselves, we can use a library that contains the existed code. And it is multi-paradigm, which means we can program with our preferred style. It is also a functional programming language. Functional programming languages are designed on the concept of mathematical functions. I will introduce Python functions later in the course. It is also an imperative programming language. It executes commands step by step, just like a series of commands. And it also is object-oriented. In Python, almost everything is an object. We organize software design around objects. I will introduce object-oriented programming in detail later in the course. Python also supports structured programming. Structured programming is a programming paradigm that focuses on code readability and reusability. By utilizing conditional statements, loops, and subroutines, we will learn these concepts soon. Finally, reflection. Python is able to examine attributes about objects that are passed as parameters to a function. For example, we can pass a string or a list to a function. And the function will be able to know the data type of these data. However, comparing to C and C++, the performance of Python is not very high. Python is slower than C because it is an interpreted language. Remember I said we can run Python code line by line. We cannot run C code or Java code line by line. They need to be compiled into machine code. Interpreted code is slower than direct machine code because it takes a lot more CPU instructions to implement an interpreted instruction. But there are Python libraries that are written in C and provide fast computation. We will see some of these libraries later in the course. Here, we can take a look at the difference between Python code and C code. As you can see, comparing to the C code, Python code is much more readable. Now, let's see Python application fields. Python is widely used in artificial intelligence. Python offers a lot of useful libraries for machine learning. There are scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch, and a lot more. Python is also very popular in data science fields. Python libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib are extensively used in the process of data analysis. I will introduce these libraries in Chapter 4. Python can also be used for software programming. Since Python is a general purpose programming language, we can use it to develop software. Python provides all the necessary features for software development. Python is also important in web developing. Python offers a lot of web application frameworks, including Django, Tornado, and Flask, and more. These frameworks allow programmers to develop and deploy web applications easily. Some of the world's most popular websites, such as Mozilla, Reddit, and Yelp, are powered by these frameworks. Python is also very useful for automation scripting. Python is very useful for automating jobs. Tasks like backups defined in Python scripts can be scheduled to be invoked automatically. We can also use Python for web crawling. We can use web crawlers to automatically gather data from websites. Since data is becoming more and more important these days, data gathering is very important now. Scrappy is a Python framework for large-scale web crawling. It gives you all the tools you need to efficiently extract data from websites. Python can also be used for cloud computing. OpenStack is a free and open source cloud operating system written in Python. It is the most widely developed open source cloud software in the world. After seeing all these applications, we can conclude that Python is really powerful.